Scrappers, it's Vanessa here, and today is April 25th, which means we are scrapping Christmas. So this is the Christmas in April. That's the month we're in. And so I will have the links to everyone who's playing along in the hop in the description box down below. So be sure to check out everyone who is doing a Christmas layout today. And I thought for my video this month I would try a little something different. I'm trying this sort of a video where I talk about what I'm going to do and then I go and do some of the actual gluing down and putting together off camera, and then come back in different parts, tell you what I'm going to do, and try putting a process together where I kind of do it a bit real time instead of speeding up the video and then doing a voiceover. I'm going to see how that goes. You guys can let me know in the description box below if you like this or if you prefer the sort of sped up and voiceover type videos. I'm trying to see sort of what this is like from a editing standpoint. Doing voiceover sometimes takes a little bit of time, and in some months I have less time than others. So I thought I would try this. So what I'm going to do first is just show you what I pulled together for my layout and give you a general idea of how I'm going to lay out the base of my page, and then I'll go ahead and do that off camera, and then we'll come back and talk about the next piece. I don't really have a full plan in my head of how I want this layout to come together. I have a couple ideas, but I'm not 100% sure. So we're going to kind of see how this goes. So let's first dig in and I'll show you what I pulled. And I won't say that I'm going to use everything that you see here, but this is kind of what I pulled from my stash. So I have two washi tape. I have this black polka dot and then this floral. And then I have a doily and a really sparkly snowflake. I have this little snowflake flare from Scrap and Happy Studio. I have two pieces of 6x6 pattern paper. These are the patterns on the back. This was from an old paper pack from Target, I want to say. I'm using these two sides, not these two, so we're going to go with these. I have a little bow. I have some heart puffies and then some enamel dots. We'll see what we use from that. I have three little black labels. I have some wood veneer stars in a couple of different sizes here. I have some rub-ons that are super old from October afternoon, and let me see, these are 2011, so from the holiday style. I loved the holiday style when that came out, and so I have some of those. I am using papers mostly, they're not all, but mostly from the Winterberry My Mind's Eye collection. And I have the sticker sheet here. I'm not sure that I'll actually use anything from this, as well as the chipboard. So we'll see if I use any of this. I actually got this at Tuesday Morning, and I think even the paper pack came from Tuesday Morning, and I liked it when I bought it, and now it's kind of been sitting in my stash, and I don't love it as much as I want to love it. But I'm going to use it on this page because I want to get some of it used up at least. And so we'll see if I use any of these, but I did pull them out. I have this flat letter sticker that is from Pebbles. These are really, really old. And even though they're stickers, I am going to say these are so old that I bet you the sticky won't actually stick for these letter stickers. They're from 2012. I'm going to bet that these are no longer actually sticky anymore, but I'm going to use this. I'm actually not thinking about not using any thickers on this page at all because I'm thinking about stamping the other part of my title. So we'll see. That's one idea that I have. And then last here, I have, here's my photo, and the title for this one is going to be Christmas Table, because this is our table. We host My parents at Christmas normally come over and we host Christmas Eve dinner, and then we have Christmas Day dinner at their place. And so this was the table all set up for Christmas Eve. So this is our Christmas table, and so that is what I'm scrapbooking. So I'm going to actually title this one Christmas Table. And then I have this piece of snowflake trim, so I'm going to hopefully get that used up on this page. And then paper-wise, this is not from the Winterberry collection, but I am going to use this to map my photo. I'm also going to use both of these to map my photo, as well as this pattern paper here, which is from the collection, and this was called Over the River, and this collection's from 2018. So I'm going to use it for this side, but this paper also has this on the other side, which is really cute. I don't know that I would use it, but it is really cute. Now this pattern paper is also from the Winterberry, and it is called Merry Berry, and it just says Merry Christmas. And this, I know what I want to do with this. I'm not using very much of it. The other side has these wreaths, which are very cute, but I just want to take the first 3 lines, and I'm going to do this off camera, but I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to go ahead and cut this just in a strip, and I just want sort of 3 lines of the Merry Christmas. I don't want to use very much of this, just a little bit. Now this is just a piece of white cardstock, and it's actually not even, it's from a paper pad of Paige Evans. Paper pads, as you know, come with like 2 of every paper, and I had already used this, and so I took it out and I'm using it as white cardstock. I will often do that with paper pads when I've kind of used one of the papers and I don't see myself using the other. I will a lot of times pull out the papers and use them for white cardstock. So that's what we're doing for this one. So, you know, don't freak out. I have used this paper before. It's not even a new collection. So that's going to be my background. And I'm actually going to frame it. Normally I would use a piece of cardstock, but I'm actually going to frame it out with this black and white. I think this is supposed to mimic snow, falling snow. This is from the Winterberry, and it is called Let It Snow. As I said, this is supposed to mirror snow, but I'm going to actually use this as the mat for my entire layout. So I am thinking about gutting the center of this because I might want to use this paper. And so the other side has these snowflakes. I'm not sure I'm going to use any from this side, but if I gut the paper, then I can use this if I wanted to as well. So basically what I'm going to do off camera to start is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim 1/2 inch off of this white cardstock or white pattern paper, and I'm going to use that, like I said, to frame or to put on top of this snow paper, which I'm going to gut. So I will have that down when we come back. And then for my layout, or for my photo I should say, I'm going to go ahead and mat. This is going to be my back layer, and then I'm going to have this one next, then this one, then this one. So this is going to end up being matted 4 times with each of these pattern papers. So there'll only be a little bit showing on each one, but I'm going to do several layers for my mat. And then as well, I'm going to come back and I'm going to have a strip of this with just the 3 lines that say Merry Christmas. So that's what we're going to start with, and then we're going to see what we're going to tackle next for this layout. So like I said, I'm trying out this new format. Let me know what you think, and we'll be right back. Okay, we are back, and I have adhered my background papers. I've cut the 3 lines of this Merry Christmas paper, and I am thinking that I want to have this be straight across the bottom of the layout here, because obviously with the words we have a directional element that has to be easy to read across the page, and so that way I can actually use this as a shelf also for my photo and things to kind of ground here at the bottom. Here is my photo. It's all matted up. I ended up matting it the 4 times like I said. However, the 2 6x6 I ended up sort of angling them just ever so slightly so you get to see a bit more of those patterns, and then the back layer is that red plaid that I showed at the beginning, and that is my photo all layered up. So I am thinking my photo is going to go something like that. I'm not sure if it's going to go straight or if I might angle it just ever so slightly. We will see. I am thinking my title is going to go somewhere in here, I'm thinking. And I have this doily, so I am thinking the doily is probably going to come up here like this. And then I have sort of this dead space in the photo, and I'm kind of thinking, since I'm going with a bit of a snowflake kind of theme, that I might add that snowflake there at the top. So I'm thinking that that's going to be at the top of my photo like that, and then this bow is probably going to come down here like this, and then I will probably take one of these labels, and I need to find my little stamp set, because I think my little alpha stamp set, and I think I'm going to stamp the word table right on this label, is what is kind of the idea that I have. So Christmas is going to kind of go in here. We'll see. I got to see how, that's a long word and these are big letters, so we'll see if we end up using this font. We're going to try it and see. No guarantees. We might be picking a smaller alpha. Now I have this trim. So what I'm thinking is I want to put this trim here behind the photo, which means my photo is going to end up at least on this side being popped up with some fun foam. So I know that that will be happening. So we have an idea of where our title and part of our embellishment is going to go. Now this is a very just white piece of paper, so I'm feeling like if I'm going to put this here like this, even without, and knowing that this is going to go behind it, I am feeling like I'm probably going to want to grab these other labels that I've gotten punch, or cut out I should say. These are from printables. And I'm thinking I want to layer those up there, because I'm thinking I'm going to need something up here, because I'm going to have sort of an embellishment cluster here, sort of a small embellishment cluster with my title down here. So it, to me, it draws it, it gives me a better feel for the page, or more symmetry to the page, I guess maybe you could say. That I have a cluster here, a cluster here. It draws my eye that this is really blank, so it makes me want to put something up here to give me that visual 3 elements on the page. It gives me that visual triangle, so that then it zeroes me back to the photo, so there's not this like gaping space up here at the top. So that being said, I think I'm going to have an embellishment cluster up here. And I was looking at the chipboard, and so I ended up taking off all of these snowflakes, because I figured that since I was kind of using a snowflake theme, that, and I knew that this is going to go here behind my photo, so if I lay this down, this is going to go here, got that along the bottom. I think what I'm going to end up doing is putting these something like this. So remember, this is going to be popped up slightly, so we'll see how this works. And then one up here, and we're going to have one over here. And I also popped up this little bow because I have, again, this bow down here, so I just wanted to carry that somewhere. So I'm thinking that that is going to go up here into this cluster somewhere along the way, as well as maybe that one up there. And the question then becomes, do I put one down here, or do I do another one in here? We'll see where this one ends up hiding. Not 100% sure on that. I do have 2 small circular ones, so I could put one down here where the bow is going to go. Sort of maybe in here. Maybe I could put both of these down here, since this is going to be here. I could have maybe something like that. We'll kind of see how that goes. Thinking something along the line of this. So then that leads me to really wanting to use these rub-ons. So what I think I'm going to do to dress up my background, so I like this layout, and obviously, you know, as I glue it down, things will probably change the location slightly, but that's where I'm going to put my embellishment cluster. So I'm going to lay that off to this all off to the side, and I know that those are going to go there, and I know that's going to go behind my photo, and then I know that that's going down at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is we are going to take these rub-ons and a pair of scissors, and we are going to cut out. Now here's the other thing, these are super old, so the question will be, will these rub-ons work? That's the question. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use up all of these rub-ons, and we are going to put them up where this top cluster is, and then all along this side, and maybe like one or two over here. So lots of different sizes here. So I'm kind of just going to lay them out, and then we'll do one, or I'll do one, maybe two on camera, and then obviously off camera I'm going to go ahead and get all of these put down, but there's no real rhyme or reason to this. I'm just going to rub them onto the white cardstock. They do not have to be perfect. A lot of it's going to get covered up. It's kind of like having an element of mixed media on your background, because that is basically what I'm doing with these. I'm using them almost like I would if I was stamping on my background, or adding mixed media, where I know that most of this is going to get covered up at some point, and I might overlap some of them. It's hard to say. I'm trying to space them out, you know, some big, small, kind of space them out a little bit. I can also overlap them. That wouldn't be a bad thing either. So again, I'm going to lay these all out. I'm going to finish cutting all of these. The goal, like I said, is to use all of them. So what I'm going to do now is let's test one, shall we? Let's see. Is this going to work? Fingers crossed that these, after, what did I say? These are 2011? So we're what, 10 years? 10 years. 10 years? Yes. Look at that. Wow, they are better quality than the rub-ons that we have now that barely work at all, even when they're brand new. I'm super impressed, and I love it. So, I've laid out the main elements. Obviously, we still have all the finishing touches that are going to come into this layout, but I am going to go ahead, I'm going to build out all of these rub-ons, get them laid down, and then get at least the base of what I showed you earlier put down on the page. My photo, like I said, will also be propped up because of the fact that it's going to lay on that white already dimensional snowflakes, so it'll be popped up. And so I'm going to come back, you will see the photo down, you'll see all the snowflakes down, as well as the chipboard ones in place. We'll then work on our title and adding a little bit more texture and dimension with some of the finishing touches. We'll see if we end up using some of this washi. I have not decided, so maybe that'll be a surprise when I come back, whether or not I've added this in. And I'm also contemplating pulling in and just doing a few splatters with this black. Now, I want to be really light-handed with this because I don't want the black to sort of overtake the layout. So I might just do a few small splatters in this black, which I'm going to do after I've put down these snowflakes. So when we come back, I will have the photo and sort of those main embellishment clusters put down, and we'll pretty much finish up this layout. Okay, here we are. We are back again. I have put everything down that I said I was going to do off camera. So I've glued down all of our snowflakes. I did add a few little sprinkles. I have this cluster over here now. And I did pull out, I only ended up using one of the washies, and it was just the little one with the floral. So I just put 3 strips of that, just again to add a little extra pop of interest in a couple of places. Again, going with that 3s, the diagonal 3 elements on the page. For the life of me, I am losing my words today. I apologize. And I did go ahead and spell out the word Christmas from those alpha. It is going to fit, and like I said, these are so old they don't actually even stick anymore, so I will need to glue those down off camera. Now, before I get to that element, I am going to go ahead and stamp with this Concord and 9th in Cranberry. I'm going to go ahead and stamp using this is a Lawn Fawn stamp set. It has a name. It is Herald. Herald is the font of this stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and just stamp the word table. So these are a nice small little tiny letters, so they'll fit perfectly in our little label here. And I'm actually not wanting this stamping to be perfect. I want it to just be very easy, and I'm looking for a piece of scrap paper that I can stamp on first, so I can just make sure that my stamp doesn't have too much ink on it, because these are fairly new ink pads and they are really juicy. Alright, so I don't want this to be super perfect. I want it to be, it doesn't have to be, it can be a little wonky. They don't have to be perfectly lined up with each other. I'm just looking for adding something a little bit different than just my normal sticker title. Ooh, let go. So there is my T. So, T. Now pick, oh, you know what? These actually have a capital. I forgot that these ones have capital. I guess I'm stamping a lowercase title for this one in all lowercase letters because I just realized I forgot to grab the capital T. So, yeah, we're just going with it. It's gonna be fine. So I apologize. Hopefully my head does not get in the way here. But like I said, I'm not really looking for this to be perfect. Really just wanting something different for my page. I do a lot of just letter stickers, or I do a lot of printables. So I wanted to try something a little bit different and pull out some stamps, which I am trying to use more of this year. And I thought this is a perfect way to use some letter stamps. And I don't use my letter stamps nearly as much as I should. I really do like the look of it, and I still don't use them. So this is a great way to just pull them out and get them on a page. T-A-B. What's nice about these Lawn Fawn stamps is they actually have multiple letters, so I could have lined these all up and stamped it all at once. But again, I'm not really looking for this to be super perfect. So I'm kind of liking the one stamp at a time kind of look to this, because I can kind of just play around with how they line up on this little label, which is turning out to be really cute. I'm liking this a lot. And now lastly, ooh, 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 ooh. Guys, I lost my E. There it is. Ooh, that would have been really hard to see on my floor if I hadn't picked it up right away. Yikes. Blends right into my carpet. Right, E. Last one. Tell me that's an E. Is that an E? That looks, no, that's an A. That was an A, people. It's a good thing I didn't stamp that right away. Ooh, sorry about that loud noise. Guys, that would have been really bad. I would have had to start this whole thing again. And good thing these are printable labels and I have like a million of them, because I would have had to start this whole process again. So, last one, super easy. How cute is that? I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Ooh, those are juicy. How cute is that? So cute. I forgot how much I liked my little stamps. Okay, note, got to pull those out and use them. So, that being said, there is my stamped title. And I'm going to throw that over there. I'm going to spell out my title here so you can see it. We'll do that on camera. There's the bow. I know I'm going to put my bow right about here. That is going to lay right in here. So I'm going to kind of angle my bow just a little bit. Sorry, let me come back in frame here. And I'm going to have Christmas be right here. And I'm going to do it a little bit wonky because my title, or my stamp title, isn't perfectly stamped either. So I'm going to kind of make this be a little bit, you know, wonky. It's not straight, which I tend to like that anyway, since I can never line up a title. If my life depended on it, nothing I ever do is straight. So I tend to always go for this sort of playful title, in that way I don't have to worry about if it isn't completely straight, because it's supposed to be sort of playful and fun. And I don't know if this S actually has a direction, but we're going to go with something like that. So I'm going to bring that up just a little bit. So obviously I'm going to have to glue these down off camera. I definitely am not going to make you watch me do that. That's a pretty painful process. I'm going to bring in these other little circular snowflakes. I'm not sure, maybe the other one will come right down here, or maybe I'll put it over here. Not 100% sure where that's going to go. Debating whether or not this is going to make it to the layout. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. And then the stars. Will I go with these? That is the question. It does kind of give some nice texture. I don't know if I want these largest size stars, but these ones in the other three sizes might not be so bad. So maybe we can do these dotted down the page. Something along this sort of design, maybe something like that. I kind of like that. That kind of finishes up that just a little bit. And like I said, I am going to glue this down. I might end up moving my title down just ever so slightly, because I really want this to like lay on top of that banner. So this might actually come down just slightly. which you'll see on the finishing, or the photos at the end, I should say. And then last but not least, I think I'm going to just grab some enamel dots. Do I want some enamel dots, or do I want to do some little hearts? Stars and hearts. Maybe I'll do, I'm going to go enamel dots. I'm going to do the enamels. And these, again, we're just going to sprinkle. I'm feeling the little sprinkle element of these dots. I like the idea of just sprinkling, using up. So I've got my visual triangle elements happening with my 3 embellishment clusters. This is kind of a one large cluster, and then this one and this one, but the stars bring in the 3, the triangle element here, and then there's a couple of different visual triangles on this page, but I like how it all comes together. I feel like having this up here makes it feel like this isn't sort of just lost in space, this part of the layout, and so I am liking how this is coming together, I think. So we are going to call this done. Like I said, I am going to glue down off camera the stars as well as my title, obviously, and just get everything glued down, and then I will go ahead and take some pictures, and those will come up at the end of the video. So with that, guys, this is going to be my Christmas in April layout, and so be sure to check the links down below for everyone else who is playing along. And with that, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.